tutorial at turfdog.net. So the Maps tab is right here, third one down, and you can obviously move these around. I forgot to mention that in the whiteboard video, but anyway, once you navigate the course map, you're going to be brought to the main page. And there's 2 pages, and this is where I want to make sure everyone's clear. So there's the Notes page. This is the only page you get in the mobile version, app version, and the one you're going to use 99% of the time. So when you click on that, it brings up the areas portion. And I've already selected a few areas in here, but we have a green. Driving range is what I marked, and what you can do is we're going to come down here, double-click to zoom. I'm going to do this very quickly. You click on the polygon here, and then normally if we're setting up someone's golf course, we're doing much greater detail, probably 20 or 30 pins. So once you close a circle, you can select the whole number, and I actually don't remember which one I did. We're going to call it green number 15. So you hit save, that goes here, that's 9,836 square feet. And then we're going to zoom back out, and this button right here takes you any point back to your reset view. So down here we have the area legend, and currently we've marked out 1.13 acres of green. So that's how you mark it out. When you mark out the greens, and you mark it as greens, that then populates the whole location software. So these are the greens that I've marked out, but I won't go through the whole location stuff here, but I just did 15. So once you or we mark out all of your greens, they show up here. In this Areas tab as well, you will notice it always goes back to the Notes page. So you're going to notice that we have this multi-select button here. If you click on this and then start area selection and just say you want to send your guys out to fertilize these 3 greens. Well, you know, it's 15,634 square feet, and say you want to add to the range of that. So this just gives you a way to select the areas, and part of these setup fee is we will mark every tee green, fairway, rough, lake, and practice areas, all that. So I'm going to exit that, exit multi-select, but this is where you would mark your golf course. It's usually one and done kind of thing. One other thing I'll point out is, say you open up TurfDog for the first time, and this is the view that it gives you. What you can do is sort of put the map where you want it, and then when you hit the Save button up here, that will then make it where this is the default view every time you log in and every time you hit this button. So we're going to go back to the notes. Once all the areas are set, this is where you're going to spend all of your time. And I've dropped some pins in here already, but really what you do is you can, when it's a flag like this, it just drops a pin. I'm going to cancel out of this. What you can also do is if you want to say mark out a sod project, you can do that, and then it'll drop a pin. And then very rarely used feature is you just kind of draw a circle and then say, we're going to say test pin. So when you do this, that's 1.63 acres, and you can upload photos, but that now will show is what you just drew. So you can do a circle measure area. We'll do this one real quick. Say you want to rebuild this whole green. Now we're going to just call it a to-do, rebuild, add a picture, include in whiteboard. Keep in mind this right here by default is on for any to-do. It's off for everything else, but I'm going to do save note, and then what you'll see is it drew that polygon. But anytime you say include in whiteboard when your assistants or anyone else that's actually utilizing the whiteboard, you will now see in map notes. Rebuild this. If there's a picture attached, it'll show right here. They can click on it, and then they can mark it as complete. So that takes care of that. But drawing pins, I'm going to delete this one real quick. Delete that, and I'm just going to go up here and say we're going to do weed bunkers. So we're going to put a flag in this. We're going to say to do weed bunker, upload photo. I just don't want to share all my photos in this video, so you can put any notes on that or some notes. So I'm going to say save. Now that pin drops, that shows up on the whiteboard. These pins here, what I did was mark disease. So if you mark a disease, a pest, a weed, it'll ask you then to mark what kind it is or what kind you think it is, the date you observed it, and the last checked. You can also enter notes, upload photos. What this does is you'll notice today is April 20th. I set this, but it'll download the last 5 days of weather. And along with the high temperature and low temperature, it knows the mean temperature in there, which is usually directly related to soil temperature. And then what it does is it'll say in 330 days, in 1 month last year, you reported fairy ring on 10T box. Here's the products you have in your inventory that will control it. Or if it detects a very similar weather pattern to when you reported this, it'll also give you a warning. So it's proactively giving you a warning. And you'll see a red number up here. If he notices anything, Bingo does, or has anything to kind of remind you of. Now, when you do drop a disease pin, you can see right here the notes that I put. I think I put fairy ring for every single one of these. Gopher. So if you also, a lot of guys will utilize, you can do add category. And what I'm going to do is say spray company. So this is all the pins that will go to some guys will have outside contractors, and I'm going to call this a black pin. Create a spray company category. So now I have spray company. I can do weed here, not included in whiteboards, save them per save. So now there's the new category added called weed here. And it's for the spray company. Now if I want to filter pins, I can do clear all, just show spray company, all the pins are gone. Archives, it'll show all the old pins that you did, because it keeps those for perpetuity to kind of build your history. So that's pretty much it for the maps page. You drop pins, you mark what things you want done by your crew, you mark where you have problems, you measure out for projects. You can also print a PDF of any map that you want. So we just created this spray company pin. I'm going to go in here into admin, and this is all behind the admin wall. So just to kind of keep some control in the superintendent's hands, I'm going to go to my course, map notes, and then in here, these are the notes that we have made. So the go by default, the pins will all stay for 14 days. You can also add a category right in here, and then you can archive all of your pins if you want to start, say, from scratch right after you finished overseeding or something else. So you can edit this and change the days that the pins will show. But this is where you can control the map note categories. We also have a feature, which is what I wanted to show, because again, we don't want too many buttons. So we kind of hide some stuff where users that want to use it can use it, but it's not interfering with every single day-to-day operation. So you come in here to create first report, do map report, and then I'm going to call this spray company. Then you can put the name of the person. I'm going to say John. Now, if you put the email address in there, and then what you do is you say, I want the spray company to get this map, and it only shows the spray company. You can add the other pins if you want, but it's up to you, or you can add all pins and have a map mailed to you every single day. So 8 a.m. on Monday, John will get an email with every black pin that there is. So if you have a vendor that comes out weekly to do some kind of service or monthly and you have to meet with them to go over all these little mini details, it just creates a way for you to communicate to your vendors. So again, that's in admin settings, my course. That's it for the video. I hope everybody enjoyed it. Again, if you have any questions or comments or improvements, please, as always, use this feedback button right here and we will very quick to respond. Thank you.